G'day guys, how's it going? My name's Big Pup, and today we'll be having a look at Whimsicott now that it has access to Seed Bomb. I'm really excited to see the results. Seed Bomb is a pretty spammy move, and I'm really excited to see where it takes this Pokemon. Please like and subscribe, and without any further ado, let's jump into the battles and let's have fun. Jumping straight into the first match, we have Shadow Alolan Marowak into a Hisuian Electrode. This is a great matchup for us. We're applying heaps of fast move pressure, so they switch into their own Alolan Marowak. We have the perfect counter for this in Toxapex. Not quite the perfect counter, because our poison jabs aren't doing very much fast move damage, but we can hit for super effective damage with the Brine. In comes the Brine. It's not really the best, most efficient move, but it will be dealing super effective damage, so that's the option we will be going for. We feel pretty confident to no-shield anything that comes from that Alolan Marowak, because we are so tanky with such an insane defense stat. We get to the second Brine. I think we lose CMP, which is pretty unfortunate, but it doesn't matter. I feel very confident to just absorb whatever they throw and get to our charge move. This will be either securing a shield or almost getting a KO. Doesn't quite get the KO, but we can farm all the way down. Can we get to another Brine onto whatever comes in? We can. It's just the Hisuian Electrode, so this will be doing a very minuscule amount of damage, but any chip damage is good damage. Down we go. Back we come with the Alolan Marowak. They're switching into a Lopunny, so we do want to reserve the Alolan Marowak's health, but we do realize after switching that they have Fire Punch, which are doing super effective damage. We get to almost a Moonblast. We throw the Moonblast. We're really hoping for attack debuff here, because they can be hitting us for super effective damage, which isn't a very good scenario for us. Unfortunately, no debuff, but we know we can absorb one Fire Punch and hopefully get to another Moonblast or a Seed Bomb. We realize we might not get to the Moonblast, so we're just going to throw the Seed Bomb. This will be doing a nice amount of neutral chip damage. Gets them into about the yellow. Now we feel confident to let Whimsicott go down and let Alolan Marowak handle the business. Down goes Whimsicott. Back comes an Alolan Marowak. Here's the Hisuian Electrode. We're hoping it's just the Energy Ball, but it could be the Wild Charge. It's the Wild Charge that does huge amounts of damage. We're going to go straight for the Shadow Bone, just securing the KO, and then we trust Alolan Marowak to finish the job. Back comes in Lopunny. We do throw the Shadow Bone. I know Bone Club would have been neutral, but I'm thinking Bone Club does more raw damage, plus the chance for the debuff. So we do go for that. Plus we feel very safe in this matchup because we have a trusty shield, our Guardian Angel. And good game. Heading into the next match, we have our Shadow Alolan Marowak leading the whole time against a Leafeon. Another brilliant lead for us. That Razor Leaf isn't going to be doing very much damage while we're doing super effective, so they switch into a Unova Stunfisk. We have a great answer to that into Whimsicott, because we can take whatever charge move they throw, whether that be Mud Bomb or Discharge, and we can dish super effective damage with our new and improved Seed Bomb. In comes another Mud Bomb. This will be doing a pretty small amount of damage, although getting us into the yellow. So we're going to full send the Seed Bomb. This should be either getting a shield or doing some nice super effective damage. We grab a shield, which is very good for us. Seed Bomb is extremely spammy, plus the combination of Fairy Rend, it's pretty killer. In comes the Seed Bomb, that gets the Unova Stunfisk pretty low. We do feel pretty confident to no shield here because we can just take that Mud Bomb. We can take quite a few Mud Bombs, so they switch into Rapidash. We realize they switch into Rapidash, so we retaliate back with the Shadow Alolan Marowak. We're going to throw off the Shadow Bone. They'll be doing devastating damage. Almost gets them into the low red. We're going to shield up here because it's probably the Draw Run. In comes the Draw Run, so we shield that up and then we farm all the way down using the resisted Fire Spin. What's going to come in next? It's that Unova Stunfisk. We throw the Shadow Bone before they get to a charge move. This should be securing the KO or grabbing a shield. It grabs a shield, which is really good for us. Now we're at a 1-0 shield advantage. We feel pretty confident to let Shadow Alolan Marowak go down here due to the Mud Bomb. We get one more Fire Spin off. Doesn't really matter. We feel confident coming with the Toxapex, and then we catch? We catch onto the Whimsicott on 1 HP, essentially granting us a third shield. That's pretty huge. Now we come in with Toxapex and farm all the way down. Now we have a nice amount of loaded energy for that Leafeon, and we have the perfect answer in Sludge Wave. This will be doing an absolutely, devastating amount of damage. Good game. Moseying on into the next match, we have our Shadow Alolan Marowak into a Hisuian Electrode. We are in a great matchup here. We have seen the raw, devastating damage a Wild Charge can output, but luckily they want to switch into a Quagsire. We have the perfect answer for Quagsire in Whimsicott. We're getting to these Seed Bombs so quickly. I'm really glad they added it to Whimsicott's move pool. I was lucky enough to hatch a hundo a while ago, and I'm definitely interested in level 50ing it. Let me know in the comments if you'd want to see a level 50 Whimsicott. Anyway, back into the battles. I'm going to throw a second Seed Bomb. This should be either securing the KO or getting another shield. They want to double shield the Quagsire, which I'm going to let them. That's good news for us. We're going to throw up a shield here, fearing the Stone Edge. Luckily, it's the Stone Edge. Seeing as they second shielded the Quagsire, it was a bit of an indication that they were going to throw the Stone Edge, because why would you throw up the second shield if you're only at a Mud Bomb? Anyway, we throw another seed bomb that secures the KO. Now we need to see what comes in next. I'm guessing it might be a fire type. Yep, it's Talonflame. So we're on the second Incinerate, we switch into Toxapex, registering the damage onto the bulky water type. Now we're throwing some big poison jab damage. We managed to get to the Brine, which isn't the best move, but it will be dishing out super effective damage. Gets them into the low red. We're in a very, very healthy health range, and we know we can absorb whatever they throw. It's the Brave Bird, which enables us to more easily farm them all the way down. In comes the Hisuian Electrode. Now we just need to farm up to the Sludge Wave. Well, first of all, we need to shield the Wild Charge, or the Energy Ball. We shield that up. We get to the Sludge Wave, and this should be securing the win. In comes the Sludge Wave. Absolutely douses that thing in poison. Good game. Skipping to the next match, we have our Shadow Alolan Marowak into a Cherrim. We absolutely love this matchup. We resist all the charge move and fast move damage while dishing out super effective, which puts us in a very domineering position. We get a no shield here, just hang onto our shield and absorb whatever damage this is. The Solar Beam does a surprising amount of damage, but Cherrim does have a pretty good attack stat, so they're going to switch into their Dugong. Dugong has had a major buff getting Drill Run. It is back in the meta, better than ever, and dishing out huge damage. We're going to throw the Shadow Bone, hopefully get a shield. Now we're just going to stay in here because we don't really like the matchups with either of our back Pokemon. Obviously the Drill Run, super effective onto Toxapex, and the Icy Wind and Ice Shard, super effective onto Whimsicott. We do manage to get into a 2-0 shield advantage. We're going to come in with Toxapex. We are fearing the Drill Run, so we are going to throw up a shield here just to preserve that health. We're farming up. The Poison Jabs are doing a nice amount of damage, doing its job. I think we're going to no shield here, just test the waters. Drill Run actually does a surprisingly little amount of damage to Toxapex. That's pretty much everything, unless it's super effective, which Drill Run is, but it's not Stab. We throw the Brine, that takes them down. In comes Cherrim, we almost Poison Jab all the way down. I think we have the balls to no shield here. Yep, we have the Cojones. It's just the Weather Fireball, so we absorb that like a champion. In comes Charizard, good game. Hopping into the next match with our Shadow Alolan Marowak into a Jumpluff. We really like this matchup. We're dishing out super effective Fire Spins, where they're only doing neutral Fairy Wind, I believe. We do have to fear the Acrobatics. It will do a nice amount of damage, but we are going to no shield. It ends up being the Acrobatics, but we can live with that. They switch into a Kingdra, so we're going to switch into our Fairy, so these Dragon Rifts are doing a very little amount of damage. They can't hit us for super effective, I believe. Yep, the Octazooka is resisted. Although our attack did drop harshly, we're going to bait with the Seed Bomb and hopefully grab a shield. In comes the first Seed Bomb. Doesn't quite get the shield, but does a nice amount of neutral damage. We're going to throw the second Seed Bomb. Just keep laying on the Seed Bomb damage, keep chipping them down. Now they're in a nice range where we can farm all the way down. Unfortunately, we don't successfully farm all the way down, so we are going to shield and just come out of this matchup with heaps of energy. Unfortunately, they get 2 attack debuffs in one go, which is really unfortunate. Plus, they have a great counter for Whimsicott in that fire cast form. So we're just going to let that go down, come in with Toxapex, and now we're in a really good position. I believe they do run Solar Beam. I've never run a fire cast form, or sunny cast form, I should say. But I think they do have Solar Beam. We'll have to see. I think I do no shield here. Yeah, I no shield. Unfortunately, it's the Solar Beam. But hey, we hang on surprisingly well. Back comes in Jumpluff. We're going to throw the Shadow Bone. It should be doing a nice amount of neutral damage or grabbing a shield. Doesn't grab a shield, but that's okay. I'm actually happy it didn't. We get to the second Shadow Bone. This should be KOing the Jumpluff. It gets the shield. Doesn't quite KO Jumpluff. We do have a shield on our end, so I think the move here is to no shield. Let that go through, and then we can farm all the way down using our super active Poison Jabs against the Jumpluff. Then we have a Brine ready to go, ready to take out that Sunny Day cast form. In comes the Brine. That eventually secures the KO. Good game. Keeping things moving here with our Shadow Alolan Marowak into a Venusaur. Another great lead. Well, what's with this team getting all these grass leads? It's so good. I think it's having the Toxapex in the back and then the Alolan Marowak in the front. It's just drawing out these grass types, and it's been getting me a lot of great success. Anyway, back to the matches. They switch into their own Alolan Marowak, not Shadow, and we throw the Shadow Bone. That grabs the shield. No attack debuff, unfortunately, so we switch into Whimsicott. Although we are taking super effective damage here, it's not the worst matchup in the world. I pretty much just brought Whimsicott in here to absorb damage and maybe get a debuff with the Moonblast. In comes the Moonblast. Let's see if we get lucky. We do not quite get lucky, but that actually does a surprising amount of damage to the Fire type. Now we can come with Toxapex and start Poison Jabbing down. We are going to no shield here. It's just the Bone Club. Although it is super effective, it does a very minuscule amount of damage. They back out, good game. Heading straight into the next match with our Shadow Alolan Marowak into a Wigglytuff. This is a pretty bad matchup for us. Obviously, both our charge moves aren't going to be doing very much damage to it, so we do switch into Toxapex to deal that super effective Poison Jab. And unfortunately, they have a Raichu. So they're going to throw the Thunder Punch. We are going to shield that up. We do get to the Brine. This should be doing a nice amount of neutral damage to that electric type. Let's see if it lands. It doesn't quite land, but we do get a shield. Will we get to the second Brine? Unfortunately, we don't get to the second Brine. We are going to no shield here. It's the Thunder Punch. We do hang on, thanks to Toxapex's good bulk. We are going to farm all the way up to the Sludge Wave and hopefully knock that thing out. Unfortunately, we don't quite knock it out, but we do get a shield advantage. And we can come in with the Whimsicott and start farming up. We decide not to come in with Whimsicott and come back in with the Shadow, Alolan Marowak. In comes the Thunder Punch. That is a nice amount of neutral damage. We are a bit more squishy because of a Shadow, but we can farm all the way down. Back comes in the Wigglytuff. We're going to switch into Whimsicott, try and get to the Moonblast or the Seed Bomb. They switch into a Ferrothorn, which really isn't a great matchup for us. They resist all of our charge moves. They can't really throw super effective damage, which is pretty good for us, but it doesn't matter. We can't throw super effective at them. In comes the Thunder. That we do shield that up. It would have done a nice amount of damage. We're going to throw the Moonblast here. Hopefully get it into a low enough range for Shadow, Alolan Marowak to farm all the way down. But there's not really going to be much farm left. In comes the Seed Bomb. This should be securing the KO. But I think we're in a pretty much a losing matchup here. Yep, we switch into Shadow, Alolan Marowak. We're going to start throwing out these Bone Clubs, hopefully dishing it out enough damage. In comes Bone Club number 1. Does a nice little chip. In comes Bone Club number 2. This should be getting them into about the high red. Yep, into the high red. But unfortunately, we're not able to hang on long enough. Back comes in Whimsicott. They're at a charge move. This should be the Ice Beam. That should be securing them a win. Good game to my opponent. Keeping things moving here with our Shadow, Alolan Marowak into a Galvantula. This is so good. Our Fire Spins are doing devastating damage to that bug type. They send in the Tentacruel. We're going to stay in. We're going to throw one Shadow Bone and then we're going to dip into our Toxapex. Although Toxapex isn't the best matchup for Tentacruel, we're pretty much neutralizing each other, you know? I do want to neutralize this Tentacruel so it stays away from our Whimsicott and our Shadow, Alolan Marowak because it has brilliant matchups against both Pokemon. We're going to farm up all the way to the Sludge Wave. They're just going to keep throwing acid sprays and we really do not care. We're unbothered. We're in our lane and we're throwing the Sludge Wave. In comes the Sludge Wave. It should be doing a nice amount of damage. Does a nice amount of damage, although it's resisted. We're pretty much at a Brine. Toxapex just keeps moving forward. It's an absolute tank. In comes the Scald. We take that even though our defenses are pretty much 4 times debuffed. We're just going to straight for the Brine. We overfarmed for no reason there, but it doesn't matter. We carry on. Takes out the Tentacruel. Back comes in Galvantula. They get off a Thunder Wave, but we have the trusty Alolan Marowak to take care of the job. This should be the lunge, but we are going to shield to preserve health because we really don't like Whimsicott against Galvantula. The lunge would do great amount of damage. We would resist the discharge, but I think this is the play here, just to farm all the way down. We are going to expend the second shield. Yep, in comes the lunge. We are 2 times debuff now, but it doesn't matter. We still take them out. In comes Venusaur. We're going to throw the Shadow Bone. We're absolutely going to whack them on the head to victory. Gets them to about above half health. We luckily get the defense fall. We're going to send in Whimsicott here just to force them to throw energy. If they have the Sludge Bomb, I do not care. That takes out Whimsicott. Thank you, sir. You did your job. You took the damage, and that allows Shadow, Alolan Marowak to get to the Bone Club. Good game. Heading into the last few matches of the day, we have a Shadow, Alolan Marowak into a Jumpluff. They switch into Quagsire, fearing that Fire Spin damage, so we switch into Whimsicott. This is a great matchup, exemplifying why Seed-Bomb is a great move on Whimsicott. Definitely one of my favorites in the move update. They let that go, and that almost one-shot KOs them, which would have been really exciting. They throw the Stone Edge, we don't really mind. Now we have the full Fairium farm down, and we have a great amount of energy. They send in back the Jumpluff. We're going to send off the Moonblast. This should do a nice amount of neutral damage or grab a shield. Doesn't grab a shield. Unfortunately, no debuff either. That's okay. We almost get to a Seed-Bomb, but unfortunately, they get to their move first. It is going to be the Acrobatics. That KOs us. Now we feel very comfortable to come in with either of our back Pokemon. We choose Toxapex. They have a Lantern in the back. Has pretty good matchups against both our Pokemon. So we're going to switch into our Alolan Marowak and start sending out these Bone Clubs. In comes the Surf. We're going to shield that up. Get to the Shadow Bone. Hopefully they no-shield this. I need to take out this Lantern to secure the win. We get the Shadow Bone through. That does a nice amount of damage. We're not really applying much fast move damage at the moment, but that doesn't matter. We can use our second shield. In comes the Surf. We get to another Shadow Bone. I'm hoping they no-shield this again. Let's see. Come on, baby. Fingers crossed. Unfortunately, they shield, but we do get the debuff. That's pretty big for us because that might allow us once Shadow Alola Marowak is down to come in and farm down with Toxapex. We do get to the Bone Club. Unfortunately, they switch into Jumpluff, so catching the Bone Club onto the Jumpluff, well done to you, sir. Now we come in, we start farming down. Hopefully we can get the farm down. They're going to throw the Energy Ball that does not very much damage, actually. I was expecting way more damage. So we feel very comfortable. Let's slow the Sludge Wave. Let's take them out. Let's see if we can farm all the way down. Come on, Toxapex. I think even if this is a Thunderbolt, we can absorb it quite well. In comes the Thunderbolt. We absorb it. Can we get the farm down? We get the farm down. Good game. Hopping into the last match of the day, we have our Shadow Alola Marowak into a Whimsicott. So one of the fellow teammates on the other team about to get absolutely destroyed, so they switch into their Bruxish. Their Confusion is actually doing huge amounts of neutral damage against our Ghost type. They send off the Poison Fang. Now these Confusions are doing even more damage. We're going to send off the Shadow Bone. Hopefully this will be securing the KO. They smartly shield that, so we're going to switch into Whimsicott. These Confusions are doing absolutely devastating damage. I can't believe what I'm seeing. They send off the Poison Fang, which is really unfortunate. We're going to get to the Seed Bomb. I'm hoping to KO this thing and get it out the way because it's doing way too much damage to my team. Down it goes. They send in the Whimsicott. This isn't the best matchup for us. Obviously, we're at a health disadvantage. We are at an energy advantage, so we're going to send off the Moonblast. Hopefully, that gets through. That does huge amounts of damage. I think we are forced to no-shield here. It's the Grass Knot. We come in with Toxapex, hopefully to farm down. Unfortunately, they have a Shadow Girafarig, and this game is just Confusion City. The Confusion is doing absolutely amazing damage. They send off the Psychic Fangs. We're forced to shield because that would do super effective damage. Now these Confusions are being ramped up even more. We get to the Brine. They shield. We're not, unfortunately, able to get to a Shadow Bone. That pretty much secures our loss here, which is really unfortunate. I wasn't expecting to see such a spicy team. And yeah, they Confusion all the way down. Good game to my opponent. Thank you all so much for watching. I had an absolute blast running this team. I can definitely recommend running Seed Bomb. It's really spammy and the Quagsires won't see it coming. Please like and subscribe, and I'll be catching you next time.